The battlefield lay shrouded in a heavy stillness, broken only by the faint clink of rifles hitting the earth. The Delta Force operatives, renowned as some of America's fiercest soldiers, were on their knees, encircled, out of ammo and cut off from hope. For the first time, these battle-hardened legends faced the unthinkable: surrender. Their heads bowed under the weight of defeat. Then, through the haze of smoke and embers, one figure stood unyielding. Lieutenant Kara Vance, overlooked as a mere logistics officer, scrambled into a derelict armored vehicle half buried in debris. The groan of 35 tons of metal rumbled to life, its turret swinging toward the hills. Her voice pierced the despair like a clarion call. Iron doesn't yield. What followed transformed a moment of surrender into an enduring legend, forever altering every survivor in that forsaken ravine. The dawn broke hesitantly, casting a frail light over the rugged cliffs of a Balkan valley. A convoy inched along, 2 armored trucks and 3 supply jeeps, their engines straining against the pulverized gravel of a war-torn land. From afar, it resembled a solemn procession through a graveyard of history. Inside, tension hung thick. In the lead truck, Captain Elias Kane, his jaw tight, surveyed the terrain with the wariness of a veteran who'd seen too many endings. 15 years of missions had honed his ability to read danger in the land's silence. Behind him, that second truck carried an unexpected passenger. Lieutenant Kara Vance, Army Logistics Corps, dressed in standard gear, rifle at her side, breathing the same dust and fumes. Yet she stood apart, officially a liaison. The term felt hollow. Kara bore 7 years of scars from war zones: Bosnia, Iraq, Ukraine, where she'd coordinated movements under fire, turning chaos into order. Her reputation wasn't built on titles but on resilience. Now her gut churned with foreboding as she pressed her hand to the window, eyes locked on the ridgelines. The absence of birds, the stillness of the air. It was a prelude to violence she'd felt before in Sarajevo, nearly costing her life. Kara seized her radio, voice firm but urgent. All stations, this is logistics. Recommend halt and overwatch before the pass. The reply came swift. Captain Kane's tone was calm, almost dismissive. Negative. Logistics. We're on timeline. Intel confirms clear route. Proceed intel. The word stung like a lie. Kara had seen it mislead, watched briefings become burials. This valley had claimed lives before. Bravo team lost a patrol here 6 months ago and a Ranger Scout unit vanished. Their final signal a feint. They're watching. Yet her caution was met with smirks. Sergeant Jamal Ortiz, Kane's second, had patted her back at base. Thanks, ma'am. But we've danced this dance since before drones. As the convoy ventured deeper into the stone trap, the jests faded into engine hum and rattling gear. Kara's instincts screamed louder. She glanced at the Delta operatives, veterans gripping weapons with practiced ease, and wondered if they felt it too. Then the trap sprang. The lead truck vanished in a fireball, flipping like paper. The blast reverberated, amplified by the cliffs. 2 more explosions hit, shredding the second and fourth vehicles. Chaos erupted. Delta operatives leapt out, rifles up, scanning the ridges where gunfire flickered like deadly stars. Kara dove from her seat as bullets shattered the windshield, rolling behind the engine block as glass sprayed. Ortiz's voice sliced through the din. Contact left, contact right. We're boxed. He was right. Machine guns strafed from above. Snipers picked off targets from hidden perches. This wasn't a sloppy raid. It was a calculated slaughter. A trap honed by someone who knew their tactics inside out. The red jeep blew, sealing their retreat. Flames soared as ammo crates spilled, crackling in the dirt. Captain Kane crouched by wreckage, radio crackling with static. Every channel jammed. No air support, no backup, no escape. They were isolated. Enemy fire settled into a deliberate rhythm, pinning them, waiting for ammo to run dry and fear to finish the job. Then a voice boomed from a loudspeaker, cold and deliberate, with a Balkan accent. "American soldiers, you are surrounded. Drop your weapons. Hands up. 1 minute." The threat deepened. "Captain Elias Kane, service number 3912, Echo 3. Your brother David, a mechanic in Raleigh. Your niece Lily, cheerleader at East High." Kane's face drained, the steel in him buckling. The operatives froze. This wasn't just an ambush, it was a personal reckoning, designed to shatter their will. "Surrender, or your families pay," the voice concluded. Silence crushed the air. Kane closed his eyes, the weight of command unbearable. He thought of David's laugh, Lily's routines. Honor was heavy, but family was heavier. "Weapons down," he rasped. Rifles clattered into the dust, a sound louder than gunfire, marking the Delta Force's first surrender. Knees hit the ground, hands raised, a myth fracturing. But one figure remained defiant. Cara Vance hadn't yielded. Pressed against the wreckage, her heart pounded with rage, not fear. Iron doesn't yield. The valley reeked of smoke and gunpowder. The ambush was flawless, too perfect for Delta Force. The fight ended before it began. They knelt, weapons discarded, bodies taut with shame. But Cara wasn't kneeling. She crawled through the debris, eyes catching a shape, a battered M2. Bradley half buried in rubble. Her pulse raced. She scrambled closer, recognizing the faint insignia. The crew from Charlie Squad, silent since the first blast. They were gone, but their machine lived. The hatch gaped, smoke curling within, but the hull was intact. The scent of oil and blood hit her like a memory. She paused at the edge, torn. Entering meant defying orders again. Court-martial, disgrace, the end of a career already sidelined. But staying meant watching warriors break. She glanced back. Kane, Ortiz, the team, legends on their knees. Her mind flashed to Bosnia, where she'd held a line under fire, to Ukraine, where she'd evacuated troops against orders. Each time, she'd refused to yield, and lives were saved. Her hand gripped the hatch. She could hide, let history bury them. But Cara Vance had never chosen safety over duty. With a sharp breath, she climbed in. The interior was dark, cramped, familiar. Her fingers found the controls, battery, fuel, the hum of systems waking. The Bradley roared to life, hydraulics whining, turret whirring. Her hands steadied, voice a whisper. "Iron doesn't yield." The words reverberated, fueling the machine. Outside, the operatives knelt, the enemy assuming victory. But Cara had shifted the tide. The Bradley lurched forward, tracks grinding the earth, barrels sweeping the ridges. Through the periscope, she spotted enemy nests. She fired. The cannon thundered, a shell obliterating a machine gun post. Dust and fire erupted, silencing the gunfire. The Delta team stared, wide-eyed. Ortiz moved first, snatching his rifle. "Weapons up. Get moving." The operatives surged, grabbing arms, firing back with renewed fury. The valley echoed with American shots. The enemy, expecting compliance, faltered. Ortiz barked orders. "Left flank, suppress. 2 o'clock sniper." Corporal Maya Chen, the medic, crawled to a wounded operative, dragging him to cover under a hail of bullets. "Hold on," she muttered, applying a tourniquet. Inside, Kara worked relentlessly. Another shell hit a bunker, scattering fighters. She glimpsed the enemy commander, Major Ivan Drago, ex-Special Forces, his calm cracking as the Bradley advanced. An RPG team emerged. The missile streaked, exploding near her hull. The Bradley rocked, alarms blaring, but held. She swung the turret, fired, and buried the threat in rubble. Panic spread among the enemy, who began retreating, abandoning gear. The kill box crumbled. The Delta team pressed forward, rifles blazing in sync with the Bradley's cannon. What began as surrender became a counterstrike. Chen pulled another wounded man to safety, glancing at the Bradley. "Iron doesn't yield," she whispered. Kara, sweat-streaked, fired again, each shot dismantling the enemy's plan. The valley, once a death trap, became a testament to defiance. As smoke cleared, the battlefield stilled. The Bradley's cannon echoed faintly. The Delta team, bandaged and weary, looked to Kara as she emerged, uniform smeared, hands trembling from adrenaline. Kane approached, face etched with dust and blood. "You saved us," he said, voice hoarse. She shook her head. "Iron doesn't yield." Kane nodded, eyes reflecting humility. "Neither should we." The team gathered, silent respect in their gazes. Ortiz gave a nod, Chen a quiet, "Thank you." No reprimands came, only acknowledgement. Helicopters arrived, blades cut in the air. Kane shook her hand. "Official report won't say it, but we know." Kara smiled faintly. "Doesn't need to." The Delta team stood reforged, carrying a new creed. "Iron doesn't yield. Neither should we." The valley, once a site of defeat, became a symbol of resilience, shaped by the woman they'd underestimated. This story transcends tactics. It's about seeing value in the overlooked. Kara, sidelined as logistics, became their savior. Life's ambushes, job losses, personal trials test our resolve. Like Kara, we can choose to stand. Iron doesn't yield. Our creed for courage. What would you do in her place? Comment below. Like, subscribe, and share if this inspires you.